So the opioid crisis isn't just impacting South Florida. Today in Jacksonville, it's estimated 12 people overdosed on heroin or similar drugs. Yesterday there were 12, and tomorrow there will be another 12.
Now, most of those people will be given a second chance, sometimes a third or even a fourth. And it is a pattern that frustrates first responders and costs taxpayers. Ann
Schindler is on your side tonight. She spoke to some of those caught up in the cycle of addiction.
Anywhere where I see beauty, I try to capture it.
The world that Mark Krancer captures in his photographs is idealized, almost too good to be real. It's an interesting contrast to the ugly underworld where he once lived. He sells the pictures for between $65 and $365. 5 years ago, he was making $3,000 a day dealing prescription drugs.
Wake up, pills. Go to sleep, pills. I could snort 10 at a time, no problem.
Addiction, arrests, and agonizing decisions like choosing between jail time and watching your friend overdose.
I found him on the floor, not responsive. I tried screaming at him, I tried slapping him. I even tried kicking him. I didn't want to call the cops.
Krancer knew with his supply on hand, the cops would arrest him if he called them. In the end, he did.
I'm grateful I did. They gave him Narcan and saved his life.
Narcan can reverse a lethal dose of heroin or fentanyl, allowing first responders to pull patients back from the brink of death.
Blue lips, circling the drain.
But life-saving Narcan hasn't slowed the rate of overdose.
That is an overdose an hour.
Jacksonville Fire Rescue Lieutenant Mark Rowley says the dizzying pace exacts all kinds of costs, including compassion fatigue.
To literally snatch them from death, only to see them do the same thing over and over again is extremely challenging and difficult.
Some paramedics see the same patients so often they're on a first-name basis.
It's not uncommon to go to the same patient several times in a 24-hour shift.
All that care comes with huge financial costs.
We are projected to spend about $155,000 in Narcan for our fiscal year 2017, which is about 38% of our entitled pharmaceutical budget.
That doesn't include the cost of ambulance transport, IVs, or other supplies. The department expects to spend $3.6 million just responding to overdoses this year. That's 110% more than just 3 years ago. Jacksonville first responders predict they will administer 3,700 doses of Narcan this year. Even with that, it expects that, like last year, roughly 500 people will die. It's a problem so widespread, first responders have to deal with it at work and at home.
I myself have gone to 3 funerals in the past year. The more I understand this crisis, the more compassion I have for the person who suffers from addiction. When I understand that addiction is literally a hijacking of somebody's mind, of their soul, of their life, I can't be angry anymore.
With photojournalist Jeff Renfro, Ann Schindler, First Coast News.
Now, the city recently agreed to spend $1.5 million on a new intervention program, but the opioid crisis, which came late to Jacksonville, unfortunately shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Now, until it does, Rowley says first responders will continue to use every tool to save every life, every time.